Good day, students. Today we are going to see about the vestibulocochlear nerve. The vestibulocochlear nerve, which is the eighth cranial nerve, it is a pure sensory nerve which is confined with equilibrium maintenance and hearing. This particular nerve consists of two divisions. One will be the vestibular root, another one will be the cochlear root. Vestibular root is confined with the equilibrium and the cochlear root is confined with the carrying of hearing impulse. With this diagram itself, we can see the green colored fiber will be the cochlear fiber and the yellow one will be the vestibular fiber. Certain key features are there. This vestibulocochlear nerve consists of bipolar neurons. This consists of bipolar neurons. These roots arises from the vestibular and the cochlear nuclei located at the brainstem. The fibers of both the root merges to form the vestibulocochlear trunk, and this particular nerve is found in the posterior cranial fossa in the petrous part of the temporal bone. When this vestibulocochlear nerve reaches the inner ear, it splits into vestibular component and a cochlear component. They reach the target and do their function. As we have already told, the special sensory function of balance and hearing are carried out by these two fibers. The cochlear is for hearing and vestibular is for balancing. The functional component given for this nerve will be special somatic afferent. Coming to the vestibular component and the cochlear component, the vestibular nucleus are four in numbers. They are superior vestibular nucleus, inferior vestibular nucleus, and the lateral and medial vestibular nucleus. There are four vestibular nucleus positioned on the pontomedullary junction. When it comes to the cochlear nerve nuclei, they are two in numbers, the dorsal and the ventral, or the anterior and the posterior cochlear nuclei. They are located on the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Coming to the functional components, both the vestibular and the cochlear component possess special somatic afferent, because vestibular is going to carry sensation from the inner ear, the apical, saccule and the semicircular canals. Similarly, the cochlear nucleus, they are going to receive the special sensory afferent fibers from the organ of cortex. And the ganglion related to the vestibular nerve will be the vestibular ganglion, and the ganglia related to the cochlear nerve will be the spiral ganglia. So when coming to the vestibular nerve component alone, we have already seen about where the vestibular nucleus is located, how many are there, what is the functional component of it, from where do they receive the impulse from the inner ear, everything we saw in the previous slide. Now we will see about the cells of origin. The afferent fibers of both the static and the kinetic equilibrium originates from the vestibular ganglion. The vestibular ganglion you can see in the first picture. The vestibular ganglion is situated on the trunk of the vestibular nerve at the bottom of internal acoustic meatus. The efferent fibers arises from the superior and accessory olivary nucleus of the pons from both ipsilateral and contralateral sides. Coming to the connections of it, see to the diagram on the left, the central process of bipolar ganglionic cells from the vestibular nerve, they on reaching the lower border of the pons, the vestibular nerve passes medial to the inferior cerebellar peduncle and divides into ascending and descending branches. They synapses with the four vestibular nuclei, namely the superior, inferior and the medial and the lateral. Few fibers reaches directly to the flocculonodular lobe. You can see it on the cerebellum. The flocculonodular lobe of the cerebellum through the juxta restiform body. The vestibular nerve, with the help of the cerebellum and the reticular nuclei of the brainstem, it influences the lower motor neuron of the spinal cord to keep the body posture upright through the vestibulospinal and the reticulospinal tracts. It regulates the positioning of the eyeball in relation to the movement of the head and by connecting motor nuclei of extraocular muscles. So we know the motor nuclei of extraocular muscles are third, fourth and the sixth cranial nerve. How it communicates via the medial longitudinal fasciculus. So this is how the vestibular nerve is communicating with the higher centers and how it is responding for, like how it is going in hand with the other motor. Now, the cochlear nerve, it is confined with the hearing. The cochlea in the inner ear, it is going to detect the magnitude and the frequency of the sound waves. As the basilar membrane vibrates, the inner hair cell of the organ of Corti is activated and that is going to give impulse to the spiral ganglia. From the spiral ganglia, the cell bodies of the cochlear neuron will reach the cochlear nerve nucleus at the level of inferior cerebellar peduncle, that is to the dorsal and the ventral cochlear nucleus, that is confined with the second order neuron. That is initially from the hair cells to the spiral ganglion forms the first order. From the spiral ganglion to the cochlear nucleus will be the second order neurons, and from the cochlear nerve nucleus to the higher center will be the third order neuron. That is about the ascending path of the auditory pathway. When it comes to the cells of origin of cochlear nerve, we know it is bipolar and the ganglionic cell which is located in the spiral canal of the module. We are easily locating it here. You can see the sensory fibers in the cochlear branch of vestibulocochlear nerve. That part which has been marked there, that is the location of the spiral ganglia. It consists of a peripheral distribution and the central connection. Peripherally, we know the inner and the outer hair cells of the spiral organ of Corte is connected here. Each hair cell receives connections from about 10 spiral ganglia cells, whereas one ganglionic cell is connected with more than 10 outer hair cells. Centrally, the process of the spiral ganglion cells passes through the tractus spiralis foraminus at the bottom of the internal acoustic meatus and unite to form the trunk of the cochlear nerve. At the lower border of the pons, the fibers of the cochlear nerve passes lateral to the inferior cerebellar peduncle and makes the synapses with the ventral and the dorsal cochlear nuclei. So, technically, cochlear nerve is responsible for hearing, the vestibular is responsible for equilibrium, and the pathway of both are discussed. In applied anatomy of vestibulocochlear nerve, we will discuss about the cerebellopointon angle syndrome. Here in this condition, what happens is there will be a slow-growing tumor on the neurolimbal sheath of the vestibular nerve. So, what the vestibulocochlear nerve near the internal acoustic meatus. So, what happens? This is going to encroach the cerebellopointed angle, and so this is successively going to compress the eighth cranial nerve, the inferior and the middle cerebellar peduncles, the spinal lemniscus and the spinal tract of trigeminal nerve. It also comprises the facial nerve also. So what may be these symptoms? These all nerves are going to be compressed. So functionally the functions of the individual nerves will be disturbed. First symptom of cerebellopointed angle syndrome will be persistent tinnitus. That is, continuously some murmuring sound will be heard in the affected ear, and it may lead to deafness also on the affected side. There will be vertigo due to the involvement of the eighth cranial nerve, and due to the involvement of the cerebellum, there will be cerebellar dysfunction, and there will be ipsilateral loss of pain and temperature of the face and forehead, and contralateral loss of pain and temperature of the body as the result of involvement of the spinal trigeminal nuclei and the spinal lemniscus. So here, if the facial nerve is affected, we know there will be ipsilateral lower motor neuron paralysis of the muscles of facial expression. That also includes loss of taste from the anterior two-third of the tongue as the facial nerve is involved. So all these are due to the slow growth of tumor on the vestibulocochlear nerve neurolemmal sheath. And that's all about the vestibulocochlear nerve. Hope you understood about the vestibulocochlear nerve. I have also attached the link of facial nerve in the description of this presentation. Please go through that also. Try until you succeed in life. Thank you. Have a great day.